Bob Hope, who was the star of burlesque, radio, TV, and movies, as well as entertaining the troops overseas. He had quite a long career and provided us with many happy memories. Remember Together with Bing Crosby, your old movies? Bing was the straight man and Bob was the comedian. Bob always played a character who was a little animal intended. Like he ate his M&Ms in color order, or he folded his dirty laundry before putting it in the hamper. If somebody would ask him, do you have the right time? He would say yes. Which brings us to our first story tonight, called Those Were the Days.
Good evening. Let me introduce myself. Well, I think I'm going to tell you that in a little while. No use telling you everything at the beginning. See, I'm a delegate to this 35th annual convention, and a funny thing happened to me at the very first meeting. Well, it may not seem funny to you, but as a matter of fact, it wasn't even funny to me when it happened. But let me take you back to that day. I was sitting in the hotel lobby one morning, minding my own business, not a care in the world, free as a bird, happy as a lark. And suddenly, a woman walked toward me. Need I say more?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Do you have the right time?
Yes, I do.
Well?
Well, what?
Maybe you didn't hear me.
I heard you perfectly.
I asked you very politely if you had the right time.
And I answered you very politely that I did.
Look here, mister. Whatever your name is, would you please tell me what time it is?
Ah, that's different. You didn't ask me that at first. Now let me explain. You see, I've always made it a habit to answer exactly what's asked of me, and nothing else. Life is much simpler that way. So when you asked me if I had the right time, I said yes, I did. But if you had asked me what time it was, I would have answered you promptly and correctly.
Well, of all things, I ask you a very simple question. Why the long explanation? For what reason?
How should I know? Am I a philosopher?
Well, whatever you are, whoever you are, I have no intentions of starting an argument with a stranger.
Now listen, in the first place, who's arguing? And in the second place, we're not strangers anymore because we are talking to each other, right?
Well, yes, we're talking, but we're not saying anything.
But that's the point. Isn't this a good way to start a conversation or even an argument?
Did you ever meet such a man? I did.
You see, my friend, and who knows, we might become friends. You see, if I merely answered your question the way you wanted me to and then gave you the right time, what would you say to me?
I would have said thank you.
Exactly. And then?
And then what?
And then I would have said you're welcome, and you'd have walked away, and we might never have said another word to each other, right?
Right.
I knew you'd understand and see it my way. Now that we're acquainted, so to speak, my name is, this is where you find out. My name is Bergman, Richard Bergman.
Richard Burton?
No, not Burton, Bergman. But thanks for the compliment.
Well, my name is Betty Davids, Miss Betty Davids.
Betty Davis?
No. Davids. D
You know, if I had had my badge on, you would have known my name.
Oh, look! I'm a delegate at this convention too, and I live right here in Akron. How about you?
I'm from Cleveland, up in the Heights, you know.
Cleveland. I grew up there as a young girl, not too many years ago.
You did?
I did, that's what I said.
Well, what do you know? Cleveland. In those days, I knew it so well when I was a young boy. And believe me, that was many years ago.
Oh, you don't even look as old as you are.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, well, I only meant that I would guess you're about...
No, I'm not that old. I'll have you know I have very young grandchildren.
You do. I'll have you know that I do too. I don't suppose you carry pictures of them with you.
Well, now that you mention it.
Oh, well, so do I. Look.
Oh, how nice. Yeah.
Bergman.
David's?
Yes.
Didn't we go to different schools together?
Didn't your family own a store on Woodland Ave?
Yes. And didn't your father return things all the time the day after he bought them?
No, that was my uncle.
Oh, but don't tell me you're little Betty with the long pigtails. And if you pardon the expression, that weird-looking little brother?
No, that was my nephew. And what about your family? Didn't your family own that store? And I'll never forget, what's her name?
No, you have her confused with, you know who I mean, the one who lived next door to...
She was older than the one that you're thinking about. And furthermore, she lived upstairs.
No, that was the middle one. What are we talking about anyway? To think after all these years.
Oh, don't say it. Please don't say it.
What?
If you say it's a small world, I'm going to scream.
It's a small world.
Ow! Oh, dear.
Yeah, well, I remember the Perry Theater and the Hartman, the Hartman School.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember the beautiful Fountain Movie Theater and the Case Woodland School.
And the Hallmark on 55th and Woodland.
And the church on 55th and Central. We used to think there would never be anything as beautiful as that sanctuary.
And the open streetcars, the cars that used to clang down the street, and the marketplace, where I always stole some fruit.
Oh, how I love Saturday night at the large Phoenix apartments. Families sitting on the porch, children playing in the backyard, no television, not even a TV. Can you believe that?
And people actually sat and talked to their neighbors, and they were friendly. Imagine, friendly.
Well, you know, let's stop talking this way, because they say it's a sign of old age when you start talking about past memories.
Well, I'm certainly not old. I might be elderly, but not old.
As long as you're young at heart.
That's what I've been saying for years.
And you said you weren't a philosopher.
Well, we could go on like this for a long time, but I have to get ready for tonight.
And what are you going to do tonight?
Oh, well, I'm going to sing a song from my native land.
Is Cleveland your native land?
No, not Cleveland. Don't you remember I was born in Ireland at a very early age?
And after all these years, I used to think you were joking when you said you were an Irishman.
But wait, I just thought of an idea. Why can't you and I sing a song tonight for the convention program? Forget about the Irish lullaby. You and I could sing a song because listen.
But I don't sing.
You know, I don't either, really. Did you notice? Yeah, we've been so nostalgic about the good old days. What about Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day.
We'd live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose. Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days.
La la la. If they do, we're going to another chorus. But listen, could you wear something more colorful tonight? Like a big hat, you know?
Now just wait a minute.
What's the matter?
You can't talk to me like that. You're ordering me around. I'm like I am your wife. Pardon me.
Yes?
Excuse me. I have to make a phone call to my daughter. Do you have the right time?
Yes, I do.
Well?
Well, what?
Maybe you didn't hear me.
I heard you perfectly.
I asked you very politely if you had the right time.
And I answered you very politely that I did.
Let's don't go through all this again.
Hey, but it was fun, wasn't it? And did we become friends?
Well, I must admit. But I'll be back in a moment.
Well, you see what I mean when I said that a funny thing happened to me on the way to this where are we, this convention? Well, all day we quarreled and argued and never stopped talking to each other. Here she comes now. I forgot to tell you. I never did tell her what time it was. Except in due time, I said, maybe it's time we were married. And guess what? We've been arguing happily ever after.